What's up, guys? It's me, Good Map Killer. I'm coming back at you again with some videos because I haven't posted in forever. Figure, you know what? I'll take some time because I've made the playlists for these. I've made playlists for the years 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, all the new albums, or most of the new albums, anyways. In the case of 2017, because I made it after the fact, and so, my bad. I was only using the artists that I had followed on my Spotify, which there are like 400 of, but even still, anyways. Oh, fuck. Top 10 albums, 2018. Let's get to it. There will technically be 11 albums, because I'm going to have an honorable mention in here. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Start at number 10, work down to number 1. Obviously all the other numbers are in between. You guys have brains, you know how it works. For our honorable mention, we have Bad Wolves and their album Disobey. In 2018, these guys really made waves in the hard rock heavy metal scene with their cover of the Cranberries' song Zombie. And from that moment, they got huge cover on the radio with that cover, as well as their other songs like Learn to Live, Run for Your Life, and Remember When. Some of these even went on to get Billboard chart success, if I believe, including like Remember When and Zombie and stuff like that. I was over at my diving camp in Indiana that year, and they were playing this song on, regular radio, I think, which, when I heard it, I was so surprised. Like, this is a metal song on mainstream radio. It was super surprising. And that's only a testament because they've obviously gone on to release a second album and are probably going to keep doing amazing things because Tommy Vext is just a beast. And the band really got a lot of credit touring with Breaking Benjamin. And I think even touring with, 3 Days Grace and, I don't remember, but they've done a lot of touring, they've gotten a lot of good coverage, a lot of good exposure, and they are going to be going on many more tours, releasing many more albums, I can assure you that much. Speaking of touring, 2018, Alice in Chains released their album, Rainier Fog. And this album, it's a bit of a tone shift for them, It slowed things down. It kind of cleaned things up a little bit. It wasn't, as grungy, and it kind of leaned more into the alt metal scene, Songs like Deaf Blind Ears, Red Giant, and Drone, and the One all are fairly, they're good songs. And it took them, if I remember rightly, 4 years to release this album. Or 2 years, something like that? I don't know. It took them, if my internet will work, which it looks like it may not, because my internet is stupid. It took them 5 years to be able to release this album, after their previous album, The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here, which was hugely popular, and added to their already great roster of music. Got a lot of great songs, a lot of great sounds, and just in general was a standout album of the year, especially for a giant such as Alice in Chains that they are. Coming in at the number 9 spot, we have Halestorm with their album Vicious. Now, there are personal reasons why I do not like this album, or why I do not like Halestorm in general. But that does not take away from the fact that musically it is an amazing album. And for the ways that I don't like it personally, I think that only speaks to the musicianship of Lzzy Hale and the rest of the band. Songs like Black Vultures and Uncomfortable and Do Not Disturb, they really make you feel uncomfortable, disturbed. It really gets it. They really just write a bunch of amazing songs on this. And, they're up to their usual tricks, leaning into the alt-metal kind of post-grungy scene, Just great songs, great riffs, great hooks. Lizzie Hale sounds fantastic on this album. It just is another great album that they have released, adding to their continuing to grow discography, especially seeing after the fact as they reimagined a lot of these songs, as well as did an acoustic version of some of these songs, like Black Vultures and Do Not Disturb and Uncomfortable, if I remember rightly. But do not quote me on that because I am an idiot. For the number 8 spot, we have Between the Buried and Me, Automata 1 and 2. And you're wondering why I'm counting them together, because they're released at the same time, kind of to be 2 parts of each other, so the whole album, if they're released at the same time, I'm counting them to be the same thing. Now, Between the Buried and Me, obviously are a gigantic band in the progressive metal scene, super popular, and they're just doing what they do best with a lot of these songs. And they've gotten a lot of great recognition and, a lot of great coverage for this album. And did a lot of good stuff. Songs like Yellow Eyes and Millions and The Proverbial Blow and Voice of Trespass all are super great songs. And there's really not much to say bad about any of these songs or the albums in general. They're just good, strong, progressive, metal, hard-hitting tracks. Reference by Parkway Drive for our number 7 pick. Man oh man, this album is fucking amazing. Completely ditching the, sticking to the metalcore formula. They really they just really innovate on the album and just give you tons of new sounds and new songs with so many different feels. Wishing Wells, Absolute Power, The Void, In Blood, all are amazing songs. I don't even know what to say just because of how much I love this album. I listened to this album almost all throughout 2018 and into most of 2019. Yeah, it was my number 1 top song for 2019. For our number 6 pick of 2018, we have Behemoth and their album I Loved You at Your Worst. I Loved You at Your Darkest. I don't know why I keep getting the name wrong for that one. But in any case, a black metal band. Super good. A little bit more mainstream, especially getting to go on tour with, Slipknot and Volbeat and Gojira in 2019. But they've got a ton of good songs on here with excellent guitar work with songs like Bartzabel, God Equals Dog, Wolves of Siberia, and Sabbath Master. I love the riffs on Sabbath Master. It's such a good fucking song. And if you're a little bit hesitant to get into the black metal scene, don't really know where to start because you think, all the other bands maybe record their sounds a bit too thin, you're not really quite sure where to start because you keep hearing the stereotypes, start with this album. It is an amazing album and a fine example of black metal done right. We are now at the halfway mark with Machine Head for our number 5 pick and their album Catharsis. And man oh man, is Catharsis an accurate word, because it is a cathartic album, especially with songs like Beyond the Pale, Triple Beam, Screaming at the Sun, and Grind You Down. Super fast riffs, super powerful drum beats. Just Machine Head doing what Machine Head does best. With Rob Flynn on the vocals, you will not be disappointed one tiny bit at all. Speaking about the life of living in California and some of the various, troubles that come with, fame and fortune, as well as just the pains of having to work in the music industry. I cannot tell you how much I love songs like Screaming at the Sun and Grind You Down, how intense and fast-paced they are. They are great adrenaline-kicking songs, and truly are credit as to why groove metal is amazing, and why this album is the number 5 pick for 2018. Truly a memorable song. Truly a memorable album. For our number 4 pick, we have Breaking Benjamin and their album, Ember. Ladies and motherfucking gentlemen, this album is amazing. After taking their hiatus and coming back in 2015 with their album Dark Before Dawn, they set the stage for their new sound. And man oh man is it fucking amazing. Especially with this new album, or newer album, because they've released another album since, an acoustic album, which is also amazing. But we have Ember. Starting off with the release of their first single, Red Cold River, that instantly set the tone for what was going to be a disgustingly heavy album. Ben doing what he does best, the band doing what they do best, incredibly powerful riffs, super strong drum work and bass work, and just creating this fiery, powerful, demonic kind of sound. Especially on songs like Tourniquet and Feed the Wolf and Red Cold River, the screams are just gigantic. You cannot find much to, say bad about this album. Torn in Two is an insanely riffy and catchy song. Blood and Save Yourself as well have insanely good screams and insanely good riff work in them. I just cannot say enough good things, as it is from cover to cover an insanely good album. And I listened to this album for so long throughout 2018 into 2019 and even into 2020. I am still listening to this album. I am still listening to Red Cold River almost daily. And same thing with Torn in Two and Close Your Eyes and Psycho. Just so many good, amazing songs on this album. For our number 3 pick, 2018, Dropping My Phone. Thanks to Deathcore. And what Deathcore band, may you ask? Chelsea motherfucking Grin. Their album, Eternal Nightmare. Fans of Deathcore will love this album. It is super brutal, unbelievably brutal, in the drum work, and the bass work, and the guitar work, and the vocals. Chelsea Grin is at the top of their fucking game, just destroying on this album, especially with songs like The Wolf, Across the Earth, Limbs, and Hostage are just fucking brutal with the breakdowns, brutal with the riffage. I just can't. It's a fucking punch in the face. It's a fucking kick in the gut. You just don't recover from shit like this. It knocks you the fuck out. For our number 2 pick. Number two pick. 1, 2 are left. So many great albums came out. Which one gets the number 2 spot? Which gets the number 1? For number 2, we have Judas Priest and their album, Firepower. This is complete blasphemy, I will admit, to not have put it at number 1. Because there are so many great songs, and I love Judas Priest. They are probably one of the best metal bands that there ever was or will be. I cannot stress this enough. With songs like Firepower, Lightning Strike, Necromancer, Rising from Ruins. It is trademark Judas Priest, trademark thrash metal, heavy metal. Just absolutely destroying it. A new clean song, Sea of Red. Beautiful stuff on this album. I cannot say enough good things about it. If you have never heard of Judas Priest, go listen to this album, and go listen to all their other albums, because Judas Priest are fucking legendary. Rob Halford is a god. And then secondly, if you have listened to Judas Priest, and you have listened to this album, do it again, and don't stop, because you cannot get enough of this song, of this album, of this piece of work that is Judas Priest. You do not ever go wrong with Judas Priest. They are just absolutely legendary, and all the songs on this album stand the test of time and are just another credit to the band, because they have been doing this since the 70s or 80s. I don't remember because, again, I'm a dum-dum. But just the sheer skill and talent demonstrated on this album after so many years cannot be denied. I will admit, for the number one pick, it is going to be Blasphemous. And it is filled with tons of personal bias. But that's why it's my personal top 10 list. It's my opinions. And, you know, when it comes to something like music, it is truly subjective. And we are talking about the heavy metal world, because I have no clue what the fuck's going on with funk or jazz or R&B or whatever the fuck this year. Or that year, because it's 2020. I'm doing 2018. Yeah, big brain. I'm gonna get so much hate for this. Five Finger Death Punch and Justice for None. Man, oh man, this is a personal album for me. My junior year of high school, this album came out. Second semester junior year coincided with a relationship that I was in at the time, and just for nostalgia and for the sake of the importance of it to me at the time and how it, you know, I still listen to this album to this day. I love the story it tells, and I love how it feels going through it from cover to cover, and just how anytime I listen to any one of the songs, in my head I can always hear, you know, I have the pauses memorized to where, you know, for example, if I listen to Fire in the Hole, I will expect the next song to be I Refuse, because I've just listened to it that much. Same thing with, you know, Will the Sun Ever Rise? I expect it to go to Bad Seed or Bloody to Will the Sun Ever Rise. Yada, 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 fucking yada. I cannot say enough good things about this album. I love it, I love it, I love it. And I further love what the band went on to become with their later album, which we will talk about when I do my top 10 albums of 2020. Thank you guys so much for listening to my top 10 picks of 2018. I will see you guys later.